The Missing Cake by Caitlin Edwards. One Saturday morning, the county fair was filled with excitement. Colorful tables and tents lined the fairgrounds, filled with handmade crafts, games, and of course, delicious treats. At the heart of it all was Grandma Diane's cake stand, known far and wide for her mouth-watering blueberry cake. Grandma Diane, with her silver hair tied back in a neat bun, was finishing setting up her stand. She carefully placed her freshly baked blueberry cake, complete with plump berries, glistening under the morning sun, on display. Tommy and Sally, her grandchildren, love Grandma Diane's cake, so they arrived early to help out. As the fair began, the air filled with laughter and chatter. Families strolled past the stands, admiring all there was to offer. Grandma Diane's cake stand drew a crowd, and soon the aroma of freshly baked blueberries drifted through the air. But just as Grandma Diane stepped away to greet a friend, disaster struck. A gasp went through the crowd as they realized the blueberry cake was gone. Tommy and Sally, who were standing nearby, exchanged wide-eyed looks. Mr. Jenkins, the fair organizer, hurried over, his bushy eyebrows furrowed in concern. "What happened?" he exclaimed, scanning the table and crowd. Grandma Diane, her hands trembling, clutched her apron. "My cake!" she cried. "It was right here just a moment ago." Tommy stepped forward, his mind racing. "Don't worry, Grandma Diane," he said confidently. "Sally and I will find out what happened." With a nod from Mr. Jenkins, they all set off, determined to solve the mystery of the missing cake. They examined the stand carefully, looking for any clues that may have been left behind. Among the other baked goods that were for sale, Sally noticed a trail of blueberry stains leading away from the stand. Following the trail, they spotted something. It was a golden retriever named Teddy. He emerged from behind a bush, licking his lips with a guilty look in his eyes. Teddy was known through the town for his love of food and sneaking treats when he could. "Teddy," Tommy exclaimed, "did you take Grandma Diane's cake?" Teddy wagged his tail, as if knowing he'd been caught. Sally looked over and saw a half-eaten donut Teddy had taken from another stand. "He's not our suspect, but he has definitely been up to no good." "You're right," Tommy said. "Teddy's a sneaky eater, but not our cake thief." They continued their search, leaving Teddy to explore the fairgrounds. Investigating further, Tommy and Sally discovered a torn piece of fabric at the end of the blueberry trail. It was a black cloth. It belonged to Miss Jenkins, the neighboring stand owner known for her playful rivalry with Grandma Diane. "This is part of Miss Jenkins' shirt," Sally explained. Tommy's eyes widened. "Do you think? Could Miss Jenkins have taken the cake?" When questioning Mrs. Jenkins, she admitted that she did hope to sell more cakes than Grandma Diane, but she had been busy preparing her own cakes when she had accidentally snagged her shirt on the table where it had ripped. She had witnesses to prove that she had run back home to sew her shirt back together before the cake had even gone missing. That took her off the suspect list as well. With the mystery still unsolved, Tommy and Sally were running out of time and clues. As the sun began to set, Tommy and Sally had given up hope of finding the missing cake. They walked back to Grandma Diane's house, wondering what evidence they could have missed. But as they approached the front porch, they saw a sight that made them stop in their tracks. There, fast asleep on the porch swing, was Grandpa Bob, Grandma Diane's husband. A wide smile on his face, and right next to him, an empty plate with a dirty fork resting right atop his stomach. Tommy and Sally exchanged surprised glances. "Grandpa Bob!" Sally exclaimed, barely able to contain her laughter. "Did you?" Grandpa Bob awoke, blinking sleepily. "Hmm?" he mumbled, rubbing his eyes. Then he looked at Tommy and Sally and he chuckled. "Oh dear," he said with a grin. "Did I eat the cake?" Grandma Diane, hearing the commotion, stepped out on the porch. She gasped in surprise, then burst into laughter at the sight of her husband caught red-handed. "You rascal! You couldn't resist, could you?" Grandpa Joe laughed. "It smelled so good all day," he admitted. "I just couldn't wait any longer. When I saw you put it on the table, I thought that would be my chance to get it before anyone noticed. But it was dripping all over the place, so I found a scrap of fabric and wiped it up before heading back home to enjoy it." Tommy and Sally joined in the laughter, relieved to have solved the mystery at last. Grandma Diane hugged her husband, and together they went inside, where Grandma Diane insisted on baking another blueberry cake, this time to share with everyone.